I worked at Hastings, and all of a sudden we weren't allowed to play their music.
You worked where?
Hastings.
What is that?
It's music, video, and books, like a music store. And they were in our play bin for the music section, and now we can't play them.
Within 2 weeks of beginning military operations against Saddam Hussein, public approval for the president's handling of the war grew to nearly 80%. By May 2nd, when victory was declared, public support had fallen to 70%. On the night of this Lubbock concert, with the Iraq War already 6 months old, support had fallen to 50%. Less than 1 month later, the percentage of Americans supporting the war stood at 42%. As of June 2004, more than half of the public thought the U.S. had made a mistake in sending troops, a statistic that continues to hold. The following month, the Senate Intelligence Committee released its report, discrediting the pre-war assessments of Iraq's programs for weapons of mass destruction and its ties to terrorism.
Before the war, the U.S. intelligence community told the President, as well as the Congress, and the public that Saddam Hussein had stockpiles of chemical and biological weapons, and if left unchecked, would probably have a nuclear weapon during this decade. Today, we know these assessments were wrong.
We would not have authorized that war if we knew what we know now.
4 months later, on September 15, 2004, Republican Senator Richard G. Lugar, serving on the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, vented his frustrations at the way the war was being executed.
We heard blithely optimistic people from the administration prior to the war that we simply will be greeted with open arms. America fights the war, we get out, people are freed, Saddam is gone, and then they're rejoicing. Now the nonsense of all of that is apparent. The lack of planning is apparent.
Scott McClellan, the chief White House spokesman, responded at a news briefing.
Every step of the way, there have been pessimists and hand-wringers who said it can't be done. And every step of the way, the Iraqi leadership and the Iraqi people have proven them wrong because they are determined to have a free and peaceful future.
By July of 2006, with the American death toll topping 2,500, the financial burden of the war surpassing $300 billion, and with sectarian violence and civilian casualties continuing to escalate, signs of progress were hard to find. Among a growing body of legislators calling for a timetable on troop withdrawal, John Kerry pronounced,
"There's nothing our troops can do, nothing, to resolve the fundamental differences between the factions."
On August 3, 2006, the head of U.S. Command, General John Abizaid, warned that Iraq could descend into civil war. By this point, public support for the president's handling of the war had dropped to less than a third, with more than 50% favoring a timetable for withdrawing troops and going into the 2006 midterm elections. Voters perceived the war in Iraq to be the biggest problem facing America.
The strategy is to help the Iraqi people achieve their objectives and their dreams, which is a democratic society. That's the strategy. The tactics. Now, either you say, yes, it's important and we stay there and get it done, or we leave. We're not leaving so long as I'm the president.
Americans should argue about this war. If an American feels the decision was unwise, then they should state their opposition and argue for another course. It is your right and your obligation. I respect you for it. I would not respect you if you chose to ignore such an important responsibility.
Hey, let me ask you a question. Where were you on 9/11? Do you remember? That's why we went to Iraq. And that's why our troops are willing to put their lives on the line. And it's why many have given their lives and sacrifice. They knew what they were getting into, and our country's fighting a just war. If ever there was a just war, this is a just war.
Hey, you're doing this for the Dixie Chicks, okay? The girl has the right, say what she wants to say. Dixie Chicks, I love you. You guys are cool. Say fuck the president, say fuck whoever you want. You have the right to do what you want to do. You can be a homo in California and be happy. That's your choice. Don't hit on me because I might beat you. That's my choice. Yeah. Except I'll go to jail for beating you because that's a crime. Okay, but I don't believe in that. Like to like. It's the system. You elected him, I elected him. Okay, so now I'm saying I'm a stupid fucking idiot? Yeah, I am. I'm a stupid fucking cowboy. You made him your commander-in-chief. I don't care who lied to you. See, when you elect somebody, you put your faith in them. Right or wrong, you better support him. You chose him to be your president. He made a mistake. He'll have to pay for that. It's like marriage, dude. Okay? It's like this. You're a man. Your wife tells you she loves you. Your president tells you he has information. Who are you going to believe?